Well, my role is, I'm known as Suicide Awareness Coordinator. And there's a program that originated in Canada called ASSIST, which is Applied Suicide Intervention Skills Training. So we've brought that program in here, and it's now actually going right across the whole 32 counties. And we've had people trained from taxi drivers, bar staff, we have psychiatrists, we have psychologists, basically anyone who could come into contact with someone who could be at risk of suicide. And when you think of that, that's anybody.
Since 1993, we have actually had the sad task of recovering 46 bodies, but that's over a 14-year period. So Foyle Search and Rescue has dramatically reduced the deaths in the river. And we see the taxi drivers in this city who's embarking on this as an asset and an assistant to us too as well.
Well, I started Taxi Watch, what we call it. Eamon O'Donnell asked me to go on a course called ASSIST, which was suicide awareness, which a fellow called Barry McGale was running. We come across people all the time. We're the first person they meet and maybe the last person they'll see. Like most taxi men, they talk a lot. Not saying being a Derry man, I talk a lot, but people like to be listened to as well. So you would listen to them. And we learned it was a first aid thing, so we weren't trying to be psychologists or anything like that. We just wanted to know a wee bit more. And Eamon and another colleague, Jerry Hamill, came up with this thing about the Baltic throw line, which could help, which could tie in with Foyle Search and Rescue. We're getting trained by Derry Sub-Echo and Foyle Search and Rescue to use these throws and use a bit of first aid and what have you, because, as I say, we come across it here along the Foyle a lot.
Suicide can happen in a lot of different ways, but in this city a lot of it happens off this actual bridge here. This is the Craigavon Bridge and will be known as the Old Bridge. So people would either be on this deck here or there's a lower deck, and they would go onto the river. The river's a very, very fast flowing river, very dangerous. Literally on them railings that we were up at, people have been sitting just ready to launch themselves off. If somebody's talking and is not in a drunken state, then we would use the stuff that we have learned in the ASSIST program, which is about connecting with people, identifying that they have a problem, and then working right through the process into a safe plan.
Volunteers do our own client approach course, which we do, and then they do throw line training as well, which is if someone did go under that they can successfully rescue them. Well, that basically gives them a bit of training and knowledge about how to approach someone, you know, the issues that surround people who have suicidal tendencies, depression, you know, so they can, so what to say and what not to say basically, and what help is available. So when we do bring someone back to here to talk to them, that they can just inform and make them aware that there are other services available that maybe they haven't thought about.
Well, if you do find it difficult when you find someone that is really trying to commit suicide, your adrenaline's going and you feel a little bit scared, but we're not well trained here, we're get on with it, your adrenaline's popping. You don't seem to be your normal self, you just go into a different mode.
Before this equipment was ever made available, taxi men have actually ended up reaching in and at great danger to themselves, holding on to people in the river or howling on like a human chain down under the river. There has been instances of rescues where, instances like that, in one case a taxi driver held the feet of a policeman while he held on to somebody in the water.
It's a moral obligation, and as you know, more so because I'm there, their parents mightn't be there, their partner mightn't be there, whoever. It's my obligation to listen to that person, talk to that person, and to make a connection with them to try and help.
So taxi drivers here understand the problems. Derry is a city, but it's a big village. Everybody knows everybody, and people are only glad to help.
personal level, I feel that the fact that when you're out around the city centre and you see someone who you have, taken away from a river's edge and maybe have talked to you, and they've seen that they've got their life back in order, that for me, and indeed for the rest of our volunteers, that's our reward.
No, I wouldn't see myself as a hero. Like every human person can do this job. It's our class. We're all equal. We're all heroes at the end of the day.
It's work colleagues, it's friends. A lot of us can be touched very deeply by suicide and yet never get the opportunity to do something about it. Look, we all recognise there's parts that we can play. And this is certainly not just a health and social services issue. We've been working at this for a long time and we haven't made a dent on it in relation to suicide. There's a lot of good work happening within health and social services, but there's a lot more has to happen elsewhere. We have the opportunity now to make a difference and reach out to people that are contemplating suicide.